welcome back. So, how have you been? Guys, today is the day that my wish is coming true. Yes, my guys, today I'm gonna interview one of my favorite Indian authors. I have spoken about him from the beginning of the channel in all my videos. He I gave a review about his book in my last video. So yes guys, let's welcome Vineet Bajpai, author of um, Harappa series and Mastan, a new release by him this year. Also, he is such a versatile person that you will be in awe that what and all he can do. He has so much talents. Seriously, guys, I have a whole list to describe him. My list does not stop there as well. So, guys, without further ado, let's welcome him, shall we? Hi Vineet, welcome to the Bookish Nook. I'm really thankful and grateful to you that you accepted my interview. So I just want to ask you, how are you doing during the lockdown?
Mantri, thank you very much for inviting me for this interview. As us authors, us writers, we are very used to interacting with our readers very regularly, whether it is in retail outlets, whether it is in literature festivals, or some form or the other. And of course, this lockdown has been holding us back, and we are not able to connect with our readers. So I'm very thankful to book reviewers and booktubers like you
Thank you very
for
much.
becoming the bridge and letting this communication happen despite the lockdown.
I was going through your profile, so I came across your first book, which is built from scratch, right? So you wrote about entrepreneurship and business and all that. So what gave you the idea to write such a novel?
uh, I wrote Built from Scratch long back. It was my
2004.
first book, which I'll show you the cover.
Sure.
This was a book I wrote, long back in 2004.
Wow.
And this was because I had started a small company myself, and hailing from a middle class background where I did not have any money in legacy, any business in legacy, and I wasn't one of those fashionable Wharton or Harvard dropouts, with some bleeding edge
Yes.
idea. But I built a company, and I'd spent about 4 years building it. And I wanted to share that experience with probably tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of young people like me who were not from business families, who were from simple middle class families, but wanted to start their own companies, their own businesses.
That's really great. I'm sure you would have inspired a lot of building up businessmen, and you were able to help them, because I read this also that you were able to publish some 50,000 copies of those. So congratulations for that as well. So now, I know you started writing from business novels and entrepreneurship novels, but you wrote a total different genre in Harappa series, which is a historical fiction. Now, who gave you this idea, or what inspired you to write such a different genre?
This was Into the Highway, which came out in 2011. This was a national bestseller.
Wow.
We sold about 25,000 copies in year one. The third business book that I wrote was The 30-something CEO. This I wrote in the year 2016. By the time I finished these three books, I think I realized that there was a storyteller in me, which also wanted to come out. And I'll just take 1 minute extra on this question. Also, what happened was that I was reading a lot of historical fiction and mythological fiction written by other authors, of this genre. And much as I really, really admire them for their work, and much as I really, salute them for leading the way, I'll be very candid with you. I read a couple of those books.
Sure.
And it struck me that I think I can write better, or I can write something which is slightly different.
Yeah.
Because what I saw was that in this genre, what people were doing were just interpretation and reinterpretation of the same characters.
Yes. Okay.
In Indian culture, and I wanted to do something really different. And the storyteller in me was really, really, raising its head, and that's how I decided to get into fiction.
Well, I would like to say you have done really, really different from those authors, because I can relate to you. I love historical fiction as well. I love history as well. So I loved your novel to my heart's content. So I really want to compliment you on that.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I have seen that authors take lots and lots of time to do research on a novel. So what research did you do? Because it involves lots and lots of history-based stuff. So what research did you do for Harappa series?
So, like I was telling you, Manpreet, what is very important to understand is that when I decided to write the Harappa series, for me, the driver was that I really wanted to bring Indian culture, Indian history closer to today's millennial. Plus, there were certain controversies, the impact of Western historians on our history,
Yes,
which is
yes,
something that was bothering me, as a
yes,
storyteller. For example, the whole Aryan invasion debate, that,
yes.
there were thousands of white-skinned, blue-eyed, sharp-nosed riders who rode through the Khyber Pass and invaded northern India, and, the scared indigenous Indians ran away,
Mm-hmm.
beyond the Vindhyas, and then the Aryans established northern India.
Mm-hmm.
I found that to be a whole lot of rubbish, and because when I did research, I realized that these were all hypotheses.
Yes.
There was no real evidence. There was enough material in favor of an Aryan invasion, enough material not in favor, and which is where I felt compelled that we cannot be dependent on what the Western historians, the narrative that they have created for us. And for that, of course, there was a lot of research required. I spent a lot of time, a few months in that, but it was all worthwhile.
Yes, I can say, but it really brushed up my knowledge because I studied all that in 7th grade. So, learning again more and much more about it was like really refreshing, and it was really nice. So, okay, I want to come to that point. Like, I kept thinking about it because I couldn't identify how much is reality and how much is fiction in the novel. Like, to put across some things, I guess I know it is a fictional novel, but you keep thinking, is it this true or is it just fiction? So, can you please tell us like which part is fictional and which part is reality?
Yes, Mantri, that's a very good question. And like I said, that when I was doing research for these books, even I was startled
Okay.
finding out certain aspects, of the books. Before I answer your question, let me just show the readers, your viewers, the books we are speaking about.
Yes.
We're talking about the Harappa trilogy. This is the first book of the trilogy called Harappa.
I have spoken about it on my channel a lot. They know already. So I guess they already know, but it will be better you show them as well. So yeah.
How sweet of you. Thank you. So then I'll do this quickly. This is Pralay, which is part 2 of the trilogy. And this is Kashi, which is the concluding part. And I must tell you that the trilogy has sold more than 300,000, 3 lakh copies. Thank you. Thank you. And I think it's just the sheer love of readers. And I get hundreds and thousands of emails from readers asking me the same question. How much is it fact and how much is fiction? People have fallen in love with characters.
Yes.
Some boys have written to me asking, is Naina somewhere there really? Can we meet her? Does she exist? The girls have written that, Vidyut is so awesome. I don't think with Vidyut you've raised the bar.
But I want
so
to comment on this. I want to comment on this. Vidyut really reminded me of you for some reason because I'm rereading it. So where you mention him, he's first generation entrepreneur, and he all those things. Somewhere I felt you were there for some reason. Did you keep yourself in your mind to keep writing that character, something like that, or how was it?
Not really, because one, Vidyut is supposed to be exceptionally handsome and he's supposed to know jiu-jitsu and Kalaripayattu and all of that. So I'm nowhere close. But I think what naturally happens is when you're writing about an urban character,
Yeah.
and you are writing about somebody who is somebody who you are inspired by a lot. I'm very inspired by Vidyut. I've created that character,
Yes.
but I would love to be like him.
Yeah.
So I think there must have been some traces of self-identification, but that wasn't really
Okay.
intentional.
Back to the
Yeah.
other question.
Yes, but coming back to the fact and the fiction, like I said, even I was startled. You might read that in Harappa, I mentioned that the first expedition of the British, the engineers, the Brunton brothers, who reached Mohenjo-daro and who reached Harappa, they blew up the initial, excavations and blew up those buildings and all those things and converted it into stones to lay on a railway line, from there to Karachi. So I was shocked, the British Empire, which is supposed to be very sophisticated, very, in terms of art and culture, they were not supposed to be not like the plunderers who would come and destroy buildings and destroy things. But I was horrified to realize that actually happened. So which was strange for me, because this is something that we are never taught. This is something that we don't speak about in our books.
Yeah.
And if you allow me just 1 minute,
Sure.
the whole invasion theory.
Sure.
So in an invasion, what happens? In an invasion, the Indus Valley civilization, or the Saraswati
Yes,
Sabhyata,
yes.
as we now like to call it, at its peak had more than 500,000 inhabitants. That's a very big number for those times, for 5,000 years ago.
Yes.
Did you really think that a handful of riders will come galloping through the Khyber and this entire settlement of 500,000 people will run away?
No.
And if there was an invasion, there would have been battles, right? Or their cities would have been sieged. would have been put under siege. But you will be amazed to know that in all the excavations that have happened, barring a couple of bronze arrows, no form of weaponry has been found. So even it's hard for me to tell you where the reality begins and where fiction takes over. It's just so deeply intermingled now.
You clearly, cleared my mind around that. Okay, so the ending of Kashi was a very open-ended one, right? But you wrote Mastan before writing Dhoomketu, which is the sequel of Kashi. Why did you do that? Why didn't you write Dhoomketu just after, publishing Kashi? Because Mastan is totally different stories.
Yes. So, it's a very good question. A lot of my readers are chasing me with this question because they all want to read part 4. So there were basically 2 reasons why I did this.
Sure.
The first is that when you see the ending of Kashi, it is an end in itself also.
Yes, but I
Yes.
felt when I was reading the first time itself, I knew you were gonna come out with the 4th part of it for sure. I don't know why, but I had this instinct that for sure you're gonna come with the 4th part because it had an opening in itself. So I felt it
Yes,
that way.
absolutely. So, when I was writing this trilogy, I had decided to end it at Kashi. But by the time I finished Kashi, and I kid you not, I'm saying this very candidly, I fell in love with my own creation so much that I would read Harappa and Pralay and Kashi, and I would read the more intense aspects, and I would start crying every time I read my own work in my
Yeah.
own story. And the feedback that I'm getting from my readers are not just telling me that the books are nice. My readers have entered the story.
Yes.
They all become a part of the Harappa trilogy. They are, they love characters, they hate characters. People, so they're so deeply involved that I felt that I must continue this saga. And like you said, very rightly and very correctly, that there is so much to be told even now. There is so much that we can speak about. So that's where I felt that there was so much love from readers. And, I felt that this has to go on. But I also felt a lot of creative fatigue. By the time you finished 3
Yes.
books, I had been part of the story. And I must tell you that when I wrote the last line of Kashi and I closed my laptop, I went into my room. My, parents were sitting there. My family was sitting there. And I went in and I told them, I was in a daze and I told them, Khatam ho gayi, ab main karunga kya? Because I was like as if I was living with Vidyut. I was always next to him, and
Yes.
I was with Lakshman Pujari, and I was with Manu, and I just felt that what is this over? It's like my family. How can I leave it? But it was a lot of pain, which is where I felt Mastan will be a nice change for me and for my readers.
Okay.
And that was the reason.
That's what happens to a lot of authors when they connect to the character. They are so much dedicated to it. They do not feel like coming out of that created world of theirs. I feel that, yeah. Okay. I was also reading compliments related to you. Like they were saying that your writing style is similar to Dan Brown's. Your Indian Dan Brown. Do you agree with that?
See, it's very flattering when somebody says something like that because Dan Brown is such a fabulous writer. I think I've read all of his books and I'm a big fan. But much as I, feel hugely gratified and, it's very humbling to hear something like that. But I would still beg to differ
Yeah.
because I feel that Dan Brown writes modern day stories with just a very tiny sprinkling of historical mystery or, thriller element into what is basically a modern day story. My stories are, and I'm saying this with deepest humility, like the Times of India said, Vineet's books are genre defined. Are they historical thriller? Yes. Are they mythological fiction? Yes. Is there modern day crime? Yes. Is there a bit of romance? Yes. Is there organized international terrorism? Yes.
Wow.
So I don't really say what are my books about, and which is where I feel I'm different, from Dan Brown, because when you're reading Dan Brown, you're not going to read fantasy, but you will find fantasy when you read my books.
Yes.
And you will find, like I said, modern day crime, and you will find ancient secrets and, and all of that. So I feel my offering is a little more, I would say, a little more vivid
Okay.
than what Dan Brown does. But like, love of readers, Dan Brown is who he is because of the love of his readers.
Yes.
I am who I am because of the love of my readers.
You describe it in a very crisp way, so you get the information as well. You can fly through the book easily, and you have written it in such a simple and easy language that anyone can read it. Whereas Dan Brown uses high vocabulary. Everyone has to keep a dictionary with them to read the whole passage.
If you allow me to add here, I was speaking in Uttar Pradesh once,
Sure.
and a senior bureaucrat, minister or a bureaucrat, he was on the same panel. and he was a fan of the Harappa trilogy. And he said to me in Hindi, and he said to the whole audience, कि विनीत जी उत्तर प्रदेश tourism को आपको रॉयल्टी देनी चाहिए,
Wow.
क्योंकि आपने जो बनारस के बारे में जिस तरह से लिखा है और जिस तरह लोग अट्रैक्ट हो रहे हैं अब काशी जाने के लिए, it's because of your work, and we should pay you a royalty. So, so in a way, you're right, and thank you for saying that. I've written about Kashi. I've written about the Dashashwamedh Ghat, about the Sankat Mochan temple, the Kashi Vishwanath Mandir, the ghats of Banaras, and various other places. And a lot of my readers have said that, we want to go there. We really want to experience those streets and those places. But like you rightly said, I did not try to talk about the architecture, and I did not talk about,
Yes.
exactly what kind of pillars and what kind of arches, because I felt that should be left to the reader's imagination.
I also had one question. You coming out with Dhoomketu, right, in 2021. I hope it's not the concluding part because I really love the whole series. I just wish it's not the concluding part of the series.
No, it's not. There will be 2
Wow.
more books.
That's
And,
amazing. That's amazing.
But be ready for Dhoomketu to be a very, while of course it'll be the same intensity, the same story, a continuation, similar, almost the same characters, most of them, but it is a completely different transformation, and it is something that I don't think anybody in India has written before.
Wow.
I don't want to reveal it,
Okay,
but I'm myself very excited, and I hope you all enjoy it as well.
Right, that's great. Okay. Actually, since May is a month of Asian heritage, so what we do in our booktubing thing is we conduct this Asian readathon to read only books related to Asian authors, books written by Asian authors. So what do you think of this effort taken by a fellow booktubers to contribute towards Asian authors?
I think it's a fantastic initiative, Manpreet, because Indian authors and largely Asian authors, I would combine them because I've read works of some Pakistani authors, I've read work of some Singaporean authors. I really feel that we are at a disadvantage when it comes to comparison with Western authors.
Yes.
A typical case in point would be the size of the print runs. A regular Indian author, a debut author, when he goes to a publishing house, the first print run that will come out will probably be 1,500 copies or 2,000 copies, which is nothing given the huge market size that this subcontinent has.
Yes.
On the other hand, a Western publisher, the first print run would turn out to be 20,000 copies. It just shows that the readership is so much higher in the West even today. And I would really applaud your work, Manpreet, and the community that you represent, because I think you all are, and especially at your age, you all are millennials yourself, and when your fellow millennials see you and they take inspiration from you, they would come back to books. So I think it's a fabulous effort, and thank you so much for it.
Yeah, I just want to say before we end the interview, I just want you to say something for our viewers so that they can be inspired as well, and to the upcoming authors as well.
I would simply say to readers that thank you very much. It's because of you that we exist. Any society, any new generation, I think we cannot depend on just WhatsApps and Facebooks and Instagrams for content consumption. What books bring to the table is so much more profound, is so much more intense. I was reading somebody's post on Instagram which said, reading is the new traveling. And, and it's really like that. When you read a book, you're really transported into another time, another place, another realm. So it's very, very important for you and for the society that people read. I would urge parents, please do not buy digital gadgets very quickly for your children, because they'll have that all their lives. If you want to enrich them, please buy books. And to my fellow writers, I will say, please keep up the good work. I think it's only when we provide awesome content that this whole community will blossom.
So thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the interview. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and all the very best for the release of Dhoomketu, which will be coming. I hope that it sells more and more copy and you reach where Dan Brown is right now.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Manpreet. And I enjoyed it thoroughly. Keep up the good work. I must add here that before Dhoomketu comes next year, we will have part 2 of Mastan, which is called 1857,
Okay.
The Sword of Mastan, that will be releasing this October. Please do read Mastan. Its sequel will come out called 1857 in October. Please read that, and we'll reach Dhoomketu next year.